Hello. I'd like to give you a brief tour of your online course site so that you can easily find your way around. So you'll notice that there are three columns, and I'm going to talk about this center column first, which has pretty much everything. So you'll see course introduction first, and you can access this information in a couple different ways. I have it posted at this link, and then I also have a slightly prettier version in PDF format. A little explanation about forums. Forums are discussion forums, and here you see general forums. These are forums that persist through the duration of the class, and I just want to give you a brief explanation of each. Student Introduction Forum is the first one you'll see, and that's to be used to introduce yourself and to learn more about your colleagues in the class. Course Discussion Forum, open to posting anything that is of interest and relevant to e-learning. And then I also added a couple of forums on higher education and K-12. This is because although the program is relevant and appropriate to anyone in the corporate world, higher ed, or K-12, there is a slight bias towards corporate education in the course. So I wanted to be sure to set up a couple of special forums for those in higher ed and those in K-12. Next, we have questions for your instructor. I will check that religiously and respond quickly to your questions. If you have a question that you think other students will have as well, this is a great place to post that. Current events. You'll notice that I have already posted a couple of webinar announcements, free webinars. If you come across things that you think might be of interest to your colleagues, I hope you'll post announcements there. And there are also a few resources on group projects, and finally some information on how to access UW Library resources. Okay, so that's the introduction. And then also in this center column we have the modules that will be covered each week. So this is pretty typical. You'll have a reading assignment, you'll have deliverables, and every module has some sort of forum, and it also has some modules have assignments and other items. In certain modules I have a looking ahead section just so that you can be prepared for what's coming. And I've tried to make this as painless as possible in terms of navigation, so I've hyperlinked to the forums so that you can just click right here from the middle column and get there. So the lesson itself, the content, you can get to this a couple of ways. You can click right here on the lesson. This page will come up, and along the right hand column you'll click on each of these items to access the content. And you'll notice that in most lessons there's an optional materials section. It's just what it says it is. If you have an interest to take a slightly deeper dive or go off in a slightly different direction, I hope you'll explore those materials. If you don't have time, that's not a problem. Okay. So let's go back. I wanted to point out one other thing. I have introductory modules, embarrassing picture there you see, for some of the modules, not all. And I also wanted to point out that some weeks have one module and other weeks, such as week 2, have 2 modules. So be aware of that and plan your time accordingly. You may want to work ahead some weeks. And I also wanted to mention that at the start of the class on Monday the 12th, you will see weeks 1, the content for and activities and assignments for weeks 1 through 4 available on the course site. For subsequent weeks, I'd like the chance to do some final tweaks on those remaining weeks, so I will open them up 2 weeks before they start. Okay, so we've looked at the center column. Let's move over to the right column. So this is yet another way to access the content. You can click on week 1 and it will list the lesson, and again in this format. And you can also access the forums and any of the other content. Latest news, upcoming events like holidays. You'll see assignments posted here. And then you can also go and search assignments and discussion forums here at the right. Okay, so you have multiple ways to access the content. I wanted to mention also that the discussion forums will send posts to your email. If you don't want that to happen, some people love it, and for others it makes them crazy. So go to the participants link here at the right, click on your name, and then go over here to the left to edit profile. Okay, and you'll see various options. Notice here, forum auto subscribe. As soon as I post to a forum, subscribe me to that forum. That means you'll start getting emails. If you don't wish that to happen, select no. Okay, and then there are a couple of options for how to receive them. You can get an email for every time someone posts, or you can get a digest or a daily email with subjects only. Okay. On the left-hand side, I wanted to point out the calendar. It doesn't list your discussion forums, but it does list your assignments. You'll notice that the 31st is highlighted. That's because there is an assignment due. So I click on it and it very conveniently will take you to that particular assignment. And by the way, if you ever have trouble uploading an assignment through this tool, it's pretty intuitive, but if you have trouble, just email it to me. That's absolutely fine. All right, well, that is pretty much the extent of the tour of Moodle, and I will see you online.